Hello, and now we have Amy Scruggs, who is a business development manager with New American Funding. Hi, Amy. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show. So my first question is, tell me a little about your experience with the VA and with the veterans.
I've had some unusual, and I think is pretty awesome and honoring experience that I've had with the veteran community. That I spent 3 years as the spokesperson for the American Veterans for California, and I also was touring as a performer. So I've worked in probably hundreds of military and veteran organizations and events and deployments and Yellow Ribbon Association. I've worked with all branches of service. So it's given me a chance to really get to know some of the military families at all different levels and veterans, you know, from World War II vets, Vietnam, to even our current veterans now, and get an idea of what all those different dynamics and needs have been.
Wow, that's awesome. So what do you mean spokesperson? What exactly does the spokesperson entail?
Well, I was there. I would book the shows, definitely. Sometimes I only sang the national anthem. Sometimes I was just there as a personality. And my role was to really get them in, and I got to say thank you for a living, basically. And I would have service officers with me that were there to answer their questions about their entitlements, and really just got to say thank you, go talk with the families, meet with the families, get to know what their needs and issues were, and get them to the right people and right resources of all different community partners that they would need to help move them forward into the next stages that they were at.
Wow, that's such an essential thing and part that we need. Now tell me, so how did you end up with the New American Funding? Just the name itself, New American, just kind of goes along with the whole veteran background that you have.
I thought so too. It was a big selling point for me joining this company, and it was a great decision. I have a background in lending as well, so to take my time with the military and the vets, and also my background in lending, and pair it with New American Funding, they were the right fit, the right company. Integra's company really impressed me, and then the product alone, even discussing the VA product, was just outstanding. And to go, wow, I would love to take that, be a voice for it, and connect the right people and make a difference.
Wow, so the VA product, do you think, you know, having this personal experience with these veterans, do you think that they know what's available to them and the different programs and the VA loans? Are they familiar, do you think, with what options they have?
I would say generally no. For an example, my own father, who's a vet, didn't know that he qualified for a VA loan. Didn't even dawn on him to even think about that. And you're finding that a lot. They don't realize what they are entitled to. Nobody sits there and really explains it to them. And they have so much going on in their life of just their basic needs and transitioning. And a lot of them, if they've been wounded or injured or they have issues with their families, it's the last thing that they're thinking about. And as they come around and start reestablishing their lives, we're in a great position to educate them. And most of them don't know. And the more we educate everybody involved in the real estate transaction, the better chance we have to reaching the actual veteran for these programs.
So that's probably the better question. What are you doing, or how can we change so that these men and women that have served our country know what's available to them?
Well, I definitely love starting within our real estate community and saying, okay, let's educate, like I said, everybody in the transaction. You've got the real estate agents, you've got the affiliates, you know, escrow and title companies, anybody who may touch that buyer, to help them answer those questions and show them that this really is a much easier process than they thought, that maybe they qualified that they didn't even know. So starting within our real estate community, the more we educate the agents to explain this to their potential buyers, the more it can become the norm and not the exception anymore.
Yeah, because that's what it seems like, you know, in the past, if you had a VA offer and you had a conventional offer and an FHA offer or whatever, it's the VA offer kind of got shifted to the side, and it, you know, I don't understand the reasoning for that.
I don't either, and I really think it's tragic, to be honest. And I know maybe that it's because there's some fees involved that the seller has to pay for, but it's the least they can do. These veterans deserve to have the opportunity to rebuild their lives, get into a home, be in a home while they're still serving. There's so many different facets. Veterans who have served in former wars that deserve to have the better programs. And I think that the awareness then to the community as well, to embrace these programs. When you see an offer come in, if you're selling and you see that offer come in, to say, yes, this is going to go smooth, I want to support this, even if it's a little uncomfortable, there's a few extra things I have to do. Why would we not do that if they're truly a well-qualified buyer? And so I think going out and making an awareness on all fronts could start making a difference.
Absolutely. And a rumor I've heard, and I say rumor because I don't know, but one of the things I've heard is that these benefits may start to lessen or even go away if they're not being utilized, because the government's going to say, hey, you know, they don't need these, let's, you know, cut back a little bit. And that's a huge problem.
I agree. We're seeing programs get cut, on the federal level constantly. And you're right, we have to make sure that this is not one of those things that happens. We need to be utilizing it and do the best we can to minimize any of those risks.
Absolutely. And I think there needs to be a big outreach to the actual veteran community to say, hey, take advantage of these programs. So very good. And then, so tell me, what advice would you give a VA buyer?
I would give them the advice to not be afraid to ask those questions, that there is nothing wrong with looking at these options and these programs. They're actually great. Non-VA people would give their arm to probably have some of these opportunities in lending especially. So I think to take away that stigma of being afraid to ask the questions, and if they're not getting their questions answered, then they need to pursue looking for maybe another agent or getting referrals to people that can answer those questions, even if they still use the agents and the people they want to use, but getting second opinions to help them be able to guide it in the right direction. And so I think that just reaching out and saying, hey, can you get me somebody to give me more information? And then as a community, we educate ourselves to be those resources to get them more information. You could see it come together a little bit better.
Absolutely. So tell me, to the VA buyers with the condos, that's the part I still don't quite understand. You see these big billboards that say VA approved, or someone's trying to make an offer and, oh, it's not VA approved. Do you know what makes the difference between if something is approved or not for the VA buyers?
I know that I think the condo complex itself and the HOA that they have to be approved for certain programs. So I think that the lending, especially your lending associate and your mortgage consultant would be the best to answer those questions and make sure that they have their departments looking into the fact that they are in fact approved. And if they're not, what is it going to take to get it approved so that they know what they're looking at time-wise.
Okay, so really raise awareness with everyone involved and really find someone that understands the process. So
exactly.
Thanks so much, Amy. It was very informative. And next coming up, we have Dina Lieber. She is a certified VA Pro Realtor with the Cascade team.